Stay tuned for RuPaul's Drag Race Snatch Game After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That doesn't get us views. I don't know where
I don't even know where to begin after that. That was so great.
I'm so happy about that.
Thanks. I'm willing to make myself a fool.
No, but see, when you do things, Jackie, people pay attention. So, can I say this was the first time I've ever heard that song.
This Madonna song?
You've never heard this? Oh, this was like my jam. Oh, I'm with you, Kenny. I didn't know this one, but I like it.
No, I love the song. I was trying to figure out where it was from. But hi.
Madonna.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another after show for RuPaul's Drag Race season 8, episode 5, Supermodel Snatch Game.
Sorry, I'm texting.
It's fine.
I don't know why they gave it that title.
Supermodel because they're two supermodels and then Snatch Game.
Texting at work.
Okay, that makes sense.
I am Kenny Harrison, your MC for this evening. Sitting next to me, giving me Vicki Lawrence and Mama's Family Realness.
Totally.
1, 2, 3, Jackie B.
Next to Jackie on the other side, the two guys. One is.
Go. Oh, okay.
I'll take a pick.
I'll let you go first.
Hey guys, it's Jay, and I'm at don't_be_jealous on Instagram and still_jealous on Twitter.
And I'm Lorraine Love.
AKA Mark J. Freeman.
Mark J. Freeman.
At Lorraine Love on Instagram and Twitter.
Sweet. Okay, this is going to be long.
Is that on my lower third, Alexis?
Oh, God. Again.
We all know She Tried It.
Thank you for joining us if you're watching us live on YouTube. If you're watching us at AfterBuzzTV.com and iTunes, thank you for downloading us. So this was a really tough episode for me to watch. It was fun.
Well, tough because of the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than
it was one of the better episodes so far.
Who was dancing when you got here?
Mark was shuffling up and down the hallway as I walked in. I'm like, oh, it must be good.
And that's sometimes that's not a good thing if Mark is happy. Then you know
You're like, Derek went home, dancing.
Well, that was, of course, my first reaction.
I thought that too. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so before we get into tonight's episode, I want to really briefly touch on Untucked from last week because a couple of things that really stood out for me last week, and number one was Chi-Chi and her struggle with, and then they show the video of her mom, and the one thing that stood out for me as a whole is the sisterhood of this season. I think overall, there was a moment when Naomi came behind her and was rubbing her shoulders and and even asking Betty was like, "Is there something I can do for you?" It felt very genuine all around.
This season, well, I said from the beginning too, even from watching the Meet the Queens, there were so many that I was like, I want to see more, I want to see more, I want to see more. And that, I agree 100% that there seems to be more of a camaraderie other than Derek. But the other thing that I love about this season is I feel like they all want to be there.
Yes.
Bob said it this episode. Thorgy has said it. Chi-Chi has said it. And it's thank you, Alexis.
Yeah.
They genuinely want to. It's not just what was her name that just wanted the booking fee.
Milk from last season.
No. Don't you talk trash. Magnolia Crawford. Yes. You know what I mean? I just genuinely feel like they've all got this fire, other than Derek, and they just want to be there.
Let's back up. Drinking game. Anytime any one of us says Derek, I'm going to also add snatch, the word snatch to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So all you drinkers, all you alcoholics out there.
I'll say this, if I wasn't on this panel, I'd be watching just to get drunk. My husband's like, what are you doing?
I'm already halfway there.
See, exactly. I can see Mark with his glass of wine. And
Is it wine? Is that your thing?
Now it is.
Yeah.
But I used to work in a Mexican cantina, so I did lots of Patron shots. The Patron machine was right behind me.
Okay.
So anytime someone would piss me off, I'd be like, I'll be right back.
So
now how can I help you?
Well, Naisha said the biggest competition is yourself. I like that because you always have these queens in past seasons saying like, "There's a competition. You got to throw this person under the bus."
Right.
You know, or not in so many words, but
Where is this bus?
I know, that's great.
That was awesome.
But all of the queens have said like, "I'm part of history now," and they understand that. So even when they go home, there's a sort of graciousness for being so happy to just be on the show and have that exposure because it's big.
Yeah.
I feel I understand Chi-Chi's frustration. When first of all, I don't know if this counts, but Naisha said that Chi-Chi interrupted her last week when they were getting the critiques. All she was doing was shaking her head, and then Ru asked,
which is kind of interrupting.
I don't think it's interrupting. I think if you're saying something and you're nodding,
it's active listening. It's when you're kind of like this or like this, and I do it all the time, and I don't know if it's distracting. I'm really sorry, but I know. I'm trying to agree without saying anything.
Right.
Stop interrupting.
Oh, you're the one to talk, Mark. That was also another drinking. Someone suggested anytime Mark interrupts someone.
That's real. I would never.
Take a drink. You take a drink because I was not finished with my sentence and you just interrupted me.
I'm turning into Derek Barry.
That's another drink, everyone. So yeah.
I was gonna say, I think
Now I'm paranoid.
He did it again. Drink. Drink up.
We had some good things on Untucked where Debbie Harry came back with, is it Daniel Stein? I don't want to get his name wrong.
Yeah.
And
Chris Stein. Right?
Ooh, I don't have my notes.
Mr. Stein was back with Debbie Harry, and they talked with Robbie, and Robbie's like, I had these posters on the wall. You're like my idol. So it kind of made me think like, if somebody walked in and you guys were on Untucked, who would be like the person who just got you so shocked and crazy? You couldn't even talk. Like, who was on the posters of your wall?
Now, are we talking like?
Well, Madonna would never.
Yeah, Madonna. You were telling me.
I didn't have posters on my wall.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are a lot of people that would shock me.
Like Joan Rivers would shock me
Oh
because
my gosh.
two reasons. I love her and she's dead.
Too soon.
No, it's never.
I'm just kidding.
That joke.
I know.
That's the
That's
thing.
why.
It's like she would make that joke.
We had Michael Jackson alive on this episode.
That's
so
also
it's not,
true.
Yeah, so this isn't too soon.
It was
Go
just a
ahead.
joke. Jeez.
It's all good. Oh, by the way, we didn't give a shout out to Alexis, our booth.
Oh, no, you don't have to do
our
that.
engineer for the night.
Hey, Alexis.
Say hi, Alexis.
We watched
everyone.
the show together the first time.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody is like, who's this other girl? I don't see her.
Oh, yeah, that does
That's
make
the
sense.
beautiful
under the table.
Alexis.
I
know, right?
am the voice of God, the
Yay.
one that mans the soundboard.
That is a good question. I want to think about that because.
And it was Chris Stein. Mark just looked at
Okay, good. There are a lot of people that I would love to see, and for not idol reasons.
Yeah.
Cher,
I
the
think
costume thing
more-
should have been Cher.
I think the people that I would be excited wouldn't be on the show.
Like I grew up with Janet
I mean, there's
Jackson.
people that I could appreciate though.
Janet Jackson was one of mine,
The
so I
Jacksons
think I would.
I think she would be on the show.
I agree.
She got nothing better to do.
I don't
her
think-
sister was on
you
the
think
show.
Janet would be on the show?
Yeah, what's she doing now?
touring.
She's touring right now.
Oh, she is?
Well, she's
yeah.
I
canceling
stand
tours.
corrected.
She's got she's got two ribs and she's touring around the world right now. So
Jeez.
Okay,
Two ribs. Get out of here.
Who of the
she's had
guests?
a bunch of them removed.
Who of the guest judges that have been on were you like? That's cool.
Guest judges?
Yeah, like the celebrities. That
You know what? I actually I liked when they had Mark, Sally, and Rick Fox. I was actually shocked that two straight men were on the show.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
those were my two that for the reason that they were straight men and they were judging drag queens.
Right.
I was actually impressed with their critiques. That was a long time ago.
Kathy Griffith.
Oh,
But that's, I mean, that's like a given. I just love her.
Yeah, yeah.
She's cool. Carmen Electra, just because her critique was so weird.
Yeah.
She was,
Just like her.
she is, and I love her for it.
Yeah. At the time she was on, I probably would have been excited. I don't know if I'd be excited now, but I love Lisa Rinna. I loved Lisa Rinna.
Yes.
She's kind of falling off of my love list now, just because of like now she's just like so like into the reality stuff, and I'm
Okay, Snatch Game.
Oh, yes.
yeah, because there was no mini challenge.
There
yet
was
again.
no mini challenge. Although
I
Ru
love
kind of, and I actually
Oh,
want to.
I gotta say, we gotta say that we loved how Naisha left her outfits. For
Yeah.
Such
Damn
a
it.
classy.
Sorry, that was.
Which is again what you were saying.
Yeah,
It was a good
Now it was one of those where I was actually tearing up at my computer watching. I was like, oh, the first time.
I mean, I
watched
didn't
it.
get that emotional, but
Well, I thought it was very sweet. I thought it was very sweet. I'm a softie. I can't. I'll watch these shows and I'll cry cried for just the littlest things.
Oh, okay.
So
It was a
not sorry.
It was a classy exit, but that van brought you right back to reality.
Yeah, I know.
Can they get them like a really nice car?
yeah.
And you know that they just drive them around the building and they come back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
And the gesture was really nice, but didn't that jumpsuit? Wasn't Bob wearing that jumpsuit
in the
Empire episode?
in the RuPaul.
Was that the one he was
I think
wearing?
that was the one. It looked very similar.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it was a sweet gesture, and kudos to her. I thought her stock went high for
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And
And
she's probably campaigning for votes for Miss Congeniality.
And you also sent us the link for the full length runway last week.
Yes.
And I disagree. I loved her outfit.
Her outfit was great.
You did not.
I like
The
it.
thing
Naysha's.
was, when I saw Naysha's outfit when they did Untucked, I could see the
detail to it,
artistry
yeah.
that went into it. And so that kind of made me change my mind, where I said, okay, there's a lot of effort that went into this, even though the colors bother me a lot.
I love it.
But it was a neon challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad you brought up outfits, because Raja and Raven during their
I didn't watch
boot
that.
and toot,
Dang it.
they said that the category
No, they did
was from a time period.
From a time
Yeah.
period.
So and
made
when
so much more
it
sense.
made so much more sense, but not Robbie was the only one that did it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that they edited the show where Rue didn't say from a time period, because you can even Thorgy's
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
she combined two.
Right.
So it did change the outcome for me. And Flip Floppa, I liked her outfit, Robbie Turner's outfit now.
I like it when it's the time period. It makes more sense.
And, well, again, I for whatever, I have a better definition on my laptop when I watch the Untucked, so I could see Robbie's outfit better.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, it is. I really do like
Yeah.
it. I mean, I liked it to begin with, but I liked it even more.
Right.
Seeing it on there.
Okay, so are we done with that?
I think so.
Okay, good. Let's move into Snatch Game, because I know this is going to be long, because there's a lot to talk about. So, who wants to start first?
Well, Derek and Bob's little spat in the beginning.
What was like Derek,
start
Bob,
with
Chi-Chi
that.
trying to apologize and then getting thrown out and like
Yeah, there was some heat in the very beginning.
She spent an entire episode yelling at Acid Betty because of of doing exactly what she's doing now.
Right.
She's a freaking hypocrite. Oh. I can't.
Drink your juice, Shelby.
I was watching the episode with Mark, and I felt steam rising.
It's
as he was
radiating right now.
Yeah.
Dude,
She probably got it worse because I was calm by the time you guys got it.
I rewatched our after show last week, and I felt the heat from you last week, so I know it's only...
I'm sorry. You know, and when they commented about it on her runway, that she doesn't really own the runway, and I'm like, okay, I get that you have the job in Vegas. I get it. I don't know how you got it, but you've got it.
Her face.
And if you've got that job, I just don't get how you have that job with that makeup. And maybe it's fantastic to look like Britney, but you don't own a stage. Maybe you own the stage when you're Britney, but when you're not Britney, when she walks, I'm like, nah. Time to drink.
Here's my argument for why I don't.
I'm already exhausted from New York, right?
I don't understand. I don't understand why Michelle was like, that was a great Britney. Now she does Britney, and it's like entertaining in a passable way, but not as a comedian.
Now, in her defense, because when Rue was doing the walkthrough and she was about to do someone else, and I don't know, I actually don't know who that person is.
Laura Bell Bundy.
I know Laura Bell Bundy. I don't know this character that she was, but she was going to do a character that Laura Bell Bundy does.
Okay, so
she wasn't even doing Laura Bell Bundy. She was doing a character.
Rue hinted at, so you're not gonna do Britney, meaning you should do Britney.
Well,
and
she
that's
saw
what I got
her
from that.
and her doing the other impersonation.
Right.
She was like, maybe you should stick with what you know.
Again,
She did it because it was safe.
That's like asking Chad Michaels not to do Cher.
No, now here's the thing. Chad Michaels, and I know you don't like Chad Michaels, but Chad Michaels was hilarious as Cher.
I'm
Chad
kidding that
Michaels
she was
had
hilarious
not.
as Cher.
Chad Michaels had not been playing Cher the entire time. That's the other thing. Is like when you are playing Britney this entire time, and then you come to the Snatch Game and play Britney, wah wah.
Okay, devil's advocate.
It's the same thing I've been seeing.
I don't think I think she just happened just because I think she looks like Britney, and that's all you guys see.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think she really looks that much like Britney.
I think she looks as a boy. I said it episode 1. She looks like Britney as a boy. So that's what you guys are seeing. So when she actually does Britney, And I would say this because Tatiana did Britney season 2, I believe.
I thought it was funnier.
Way funnier.
I wouldn't say it was way funnier, but there was a standard that Derek had to
meet.
She didn't meet it. With maybe looks wise, maybe she looked like her, but Tatiana, I'm sorry, if you put them side by side, Tatiana hands down. Never in a million years thought I would say that.
I like Tatiana.
I liked that Tatiana.
I liked Tatiana playing Britney.
Derek, Jay, please get a word out. Everyone's keep cutting.
I just want to make sure I don't cut off.
No, they yell at you here.
Derek was kind of damned if he did, damned if he didn't, though. Because if he doesn't do Britney, everybody's going to criticize him for not doing Britney.
Sure,
if he does Britney, he's criticized for not doing Britney well enough. Right. So it was a lose-lose. I kind of feel like. I agree
with you, Jay.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you think that Chad's Cher was funnier than Sharon Needles' Michelle Visage?
No.
Yes.
She won, so just saying.
No, and I think part of that has to do.
It's because I
think part of that has to do with the surprise of doing Michelle Visage, like the very balls and humor it takes to do someone on the show. But don't you think that she should have
won for that, regardless? This is what that to me was, and what Derek Barry is. I totally got this analogy when I was watching the second time. I was like, this is total CNN blowing smoke up a Hillary's butt. Because they're a name, because they've got all this recognition, we have to give them all this attention. We have to give them the award. You don't have to. She should not have been in the top 3. You're telling me Chi-Chi's Eartha Kitt and Kim Chi's brilliant Kimmy Jong-un, which they was getting yelled at in the studios because I was laughing so freaking hard. That was an insult to them. I am sorry. Okay. She should not have been in the top 3. And then she comes out looking like that, without even a wig line, without any contour on her face, wearing her Sharpie eyeliner as Madonna. Madonna wouldn't look like that. That's an insult to Madonna.
Mark, I think the people outside the studio can hear you.
Probably. Well, they could hear me when I was out there.
I think the people down the street can hear it. Like,
yeah.
I got a sidebar. Jalen just wrote man butter, and I just cracked up when I saw that.
I love you, Mark, but I was so distracted by man butter, I couldn't even pay attention to what was going on.
I think Chris Crocker needs to come for Mark and say, leave Derek alone.
Okay, so
only if Kenny plays Chris Crocker.
I'm going to defend. I'm with Jay, and I'm going to defend Derek on this one.
Barrick Dairy.
Whatever his name is, Derek Barry.
Dingle Ball Dairy.
I think it's a a lose-lose situation for him. Yeah, so I want to point out that this Snatch Game compared to other Snatch Games was the funniest. And I'll say because a lot of people took chances. When Kim Chi said that she was going to do Kim
Carroll.
Yes. I was like, ugh. And then Thorgy said she was going to do Michael Jackson. That was another.
How do you guys feel about the queens doing men? Because we saw Little Richie.
We did that. We talked about this last year. Because,
this is don't shut him down though.
No, yeah.
No. I wasn't shutting him down.
I thought you were just being like, we talked about this.
No.
You weren't here, but we did.
I was prefacing it. Yeah. Sorry, Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma's got her panties in a bunch.
We talked about this last year where, oh God, it's escaping me.
Kennedy
Davenport.
That one. And
Little Richard.
With Little Richard being kind of effeminate, I kind of see the same as Michael Jackson. I just hope it's not a trend. And again, it was a risk, and even Bob did, doing Carol Channing was a risk because we all, we get into this whole. I don't mind people of a different. Michael Jackson was technically black, so I don't mind race barrier.
I think Thorgy's half black.
As long as you're not putting on blackface like that, that's where you start to draw a line where you're like, okay, this draws a line where there's a history of people doing this to offend and and belittle a group of people.
Right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things that I didn't get until I watched it the second time was that whole beginning part of Naomi and Bob talking about doing Whoopi. Mm-hmm. Bob never did Whoopi, so why didn't Naomi go back and do Whoopi?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know, but I think she figured that Bob was gonna do it, so she just went and just to be safe.
But don't you just ask? They're in the workroom for like 8 billion hours.
Was she gonna switch to do all 3?
Who knows?
You know
That
what I
would be
mean?
funny.
Oh.
That
You
would
know
have been
what I mean?
funny.
That I thought Bob deserved the win because of that very risk, like the risk of changing a character in the middle of the show.
Okay, go ahead.
I did not care for that.
Okay, why?
I'm okay with like the Chad Michael changing into a different Cher outfit, but I thought changing a character was like showboating, which one of the judges brought up, and I thought it's true. Like pick one and just be solid and be strong enough in that one character. And I thought Bob did a good job with both of them, of course. But I thought it was just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
As a person who wears outfits every day on RuPaul's Drag Race,
It is too much.
I'm okay with showboating.
Yeah.
I think Jay is you get out of my head because
Alright.
you literally said exactly what I was thinking.
I thought
And I love
you
Bob.
should have gotten more credit for maintaining the same longer.
And
And I thought,
I mean the isms of
and
Michael
the
Jackson.
Band-Aids on the finger. I was like, that's it.
The
I'm done.
laughing was so funny to me, not because it was Michael Jackson, but because it reminded me of the SNL skit where they try to be part of Japanese culture and it's just not working. And
I
I'm
love
like,
that skit.
"Ooh."
Yeah.
That was funny.
It reminded me of that skit.
No, it reminded me of Amy Poehler as Michael Jackson in
On
one
the
of
road.
his.
Yeah, that was funny too.
Jay read my mind. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I actually like Carol Channing better. I thought it was
Yeah.
funnier.
I don't know. Do you watch Orange is the New Black though?
I do.
See, I don't know. I thought that was.
I thought that when she messed
when
up
she
the
was like,
cards
oh my
and then
God, I
read the
was
poem, I loved
crying.
it.
Her answer when she wrote the poem was funny.
Hysterical.
It was hysterical because that's
And
something Crazy Eyes would have done.
I'm gonna keep saying. These two were friggin' Chi-Chi and Kim
Kimchi.
Chi.
I know.
Were just
Like they can see that, Mark.
I know. When Chi-Chi was playing with the roll of yarn, I literally got up from I had to walk away. I couldn't even deal with
this
it.
was-
I couldn't even take
It
it.
was funny.
Mark was sitting next to me in the outside in the screening room, and
I got yelled at by several producers.
I'm so glad I turned up because we have headphones to watch. I'm glad because I couldn't hear anything.
Steven actually, I don't know, you see Steven text me. He's like, they can hear you in the studios. Please stop laughing so loud.
It was
Like, well,
funny.
that's just my laugh.
And actually, Chi-Chi surprised me too. I wasn't expecting her.
I thought she knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
I think if I was them, I'd be pissed. I would literally be pissed.
I have to be honest, I did not know who that character was, and
Right.
even after hearing the voice and I did like a little Wikipedia thing real quick, I still didn't recognize any roles of is it Eartha?
Eartha
Kitt.
Kitt.
So I'm not familiar, but I was a fan of watching her anyway.
It was
so
so funny.
Okay,
So
let's just point out for the record, that's 2, Jay. You didn't know the Madonna song, and you don't know who Eartha Kitt is.
You didn't know the Madonna song.
That's only 1 for me, so I'm winning this race right now. I'm just kidding.
Mark already took my gay card earlier.
I took
when
it
didn't know
earlier
who
when he didn't know who
Eartha
Eartha Kitt was. I made him give it back.
I know both the song and Eartha Kitt. Does that mean I get
you're-
it?
You're more
a better
gay
gay
than
man than
everybody
I am.
else.
I was
And I'm
actually
not
Get it,
surprised.
girl.
I'm not
Get it.
surprised.
I was
Get it,
actually at
girl.
the concert where she sang causing I was at Who's That Girl?
Oh, at first I thought
That's
you were
how
going to say
old
I was at
am.
Eartha Kitt's concert.
No, not Eartha Kitt.
I was like, oh.
Not Eartha Kitt's Madonna's Who's That Girl?
I
saw that.
what about the not so funny ones? Acid Betty.
Ooh.
There's so much she could have done
Carson
with.
Kressley did it better
He
than
did
Acid
great.
Betty.
He knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was gonna happen, and I was not expecting her to fall flat.
I
I
think
was
when-
so disappointed.
When I first saw that wig, it was because Nancy Grace, and it
Not
did
at
not
all.
look
No.
any kind of shape or form or anything close to Nancy. And I was like, okay, well maybe the wig's bad, but he'll make up with it with the characters, with the character and the voice, and that felt really flat too, which was really rough.
He used his own voice. I mean, Nancy she has this southern drawl. It's so annoying, and
Yeah.
anybody. Well, I can't do it. Well, maybe I can. I am.
You just got to get in real close and look at that camera.
Yeah. Carson, you're right. Carson knocked it out of the park. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just too bad.
yeah.
Yeah. I did not know Robbie's Diana Galen.
I knew her. I recognized her when I saw the picture.
Well, I did too, but I don't know her.
mannerisms.
Yeah, mannerisms. So again, it was one of those risks that didn't pay off.
but
this
the panel
episode.
knew who she was,
Yeah.
which was important.
And I don't understand, and somebody on the panel, I don't remember who it was, said also, I don't know why she didn't do the hair.
Yeah.
Like, if she would have looked more like that picture,
Right.
I mean, just the look of her is hysterical.
Right.
So, I don't get how she just didn't do that.
And the difference is, I didn't know who Chi-Chi's. Sorry, I keep forgetting her name. Eartha Kitt. I didn't know who she was, but I was laughing.
Still funny.
But with Robbie, I was just sitting there like.
Well, okay, now I'm gonna confess to the Jinx Monsoon when she did
Little Edie.
I didn't know who that was.
Quite the scandal.
I didn't know who she, and I hope I didn't say I did.
That's 2 for you now, Kenny.
Well, no, because now I'm thinking I'm going back and say, did I say it on the after show?
No, I don't think you said that. No,
okay. I did go back and watch Grey Garden, so I know who she is now.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's one of those things that even though if you may not know who the character or the person is, you still have to make it funny and still have to make it interesting. I don't think a lot of people, well, maybe a lot of people in our generation knows who Tiffany Pollard is.
I didn't know who it was.
Okay, so if you didn't watch I Love New York.
I love New York. She's huge, crazy, larger than life.
Yes.
And Naomi Smalls was so underwhelming in that. I mean, and Tiffany Pollard, I mean, her boobs are huge. Literally out
They
to
should
here.
have did a big Ange thing.
Yeah.
Like, like
Pearl.
Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl. I mean, this is your opportunity to just go over the top big.
Right.
And Naomi Smalls, like, that was, I mean, Tiffany got spit in the face. There's things that she's known for that you could kind of play with.
And even Bob said that Rue was throwing her bones left and right and she didn't catch it. Now, here's a question I'm going to throw at you guys. If, let's say Bob did do Whoopi.
Yeah.
And Naomi's stuck with Whoopi. Do you think that would have been a smart thing?
I don't know if they're allowed to.
I don't know if they would have let that happen.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know. We've never had a duplicate, so I don't know that they. I feel like they say there can't be duplicate. I don't know that
Because neither one of them did Whoopi.
Right. Which I wonder why she didn't go back to
Naomi Smalls. No, maybe she thought that the character. Yeah, I got it. Maybe she thought it was too dark of a role because Color Purple is a little bit more like you can't have as much fun with it.
There's hilarious moments in Color Purple.
Yes, but I mean that's I don't know. But like I just made a joke.
I feel like she could have played
like,
that more.
I think Whoopi would have been the better choice if she. I mean the hair was right and she has that more of a feature for that face in New York. But I maybe there was just something going on that we don't know about that she didn't choose that character.
Yeah. So if you know, tweet us.
Yeah,
hit us up.
We'll look for the deleted scenes.
Yeah, because Logo will throw them on there left and right. Do we want to talk about before the runway? Because the runway, oh my god.
Well, I do have something to say. So they had Chanel Iman and Gigi Hadid as the two.
They're so beautiful.
They're gorgeous, beautiful. But I like when they get comedians to answer the things on Snatch. Which this one, like the answers were like because of allergies, because he sneezed. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It wasn't like risque enough for me. So I thought they were kind of a little dull for that portion of it.
I agree.
And maybe a little too young for the Snatch game.
Yeah. I mean, they were just kind of not boring, but I was like Aisha Tyler was funny, and I remember Loretta Devine.
Gillian Jacobs was one.
Yeah. Amber Heard?
Amber Rose.
Amber Rose. That one. Yes.
Yeah. So these are just people that I think they know. They're a little bit more familiar with the format and what to kind of go with.
Again, I don't know who they were.
Gigi Hadid and
I don't know.
I knew they said they were models, but I'd never seen.
I mean, I figured they were supermodels.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated. Yeah. They're well.
You'd think all my years on the runway I would have recognized.
I actually didn't mind. I didn't mind that it was so mild because if you have somebody in, it just so happened that it worked out well in this group because the group was so vivacious that if you had somebody trying to one up the group with their answers, not vivacious as
because I thought King Cobra from last. Okay, never. Sorry.
No.
Ornacia.
No, I was thinking King Cobra. Remember the Spike from Super Mario World? No.
I know exactly.
Thank you. Where's Cameron Morrison when you need him?
Probably in the chat room.
That's true. But I felt that it worked in this particular instance because they kind of played the straight man in a way, in the sense that
I see what you're saying.
They delivered the line and then the comedians did their job.
They set him up for the knockout.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe.
I'll go with that.
I still think this was one of the funnier. And I don't forget one of you guys said it was long. One of the longer ones.
I feel like the Snatch Game. I feel like they showed more of it than they ever have, and I think because it was so good.
And I think they all got equal edits, as opposed to certain years, like Bianca got every answer.
Right,
like she got an answer every question.
Well,
right. Yeah. So I think they all, and for me, it was hard to pick a winner just from the Snatch Game because I thought Thorgy was great. I thought Bob was great. Chi-Chi was great. Kimchi was great. So it was 4 really solid performances. Yeah. I didn't mind Derek Barry.
Okay. I was thinking what they should have done was, besides send Derek home, I thought I just wish like she would sometimes do something like there's a top 4 and a bottom 2. You know what I mean? Like instead of top 3 all the time. Like because I feel like those 4, Bob, Chi-Chi, Kim, and Thorgy, hands down were like the queens of that show. I'm sorry. And so I feel like she should have had all 4 of them like and said, okay, I'm sorry, there has to be 4 because you guys were all great, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like I wish she would do something like that. Like, you know, when she does the elimination, like I always like that. When they mix it up a little bit. I'm a Sagittarius, so I like change.
Michelle brought up an interesting point though a couple seasons back with Detox doing Kesha, with Derek doing Brittany. Brittany's not an out of control big character, so it's kind of hard to make her funny.
Don't make excuses for her.
I'm Derek's number 1 fan.
Tatiana knocked it out of the ballpark.
And here's the difference. Tatiana was using the Kevin, like that was when Brittany was kind of like trashy with like Kevin Federline with that like gum.
Well, why couldn't she done the same thing?
Because then what we would be saying right now is Derek was copying Tatiana.
Well, at least she was funny.
Yeah, I said it's a lose-lose for Derek for me. So I can't.
Then she should have gone home. She should have went home last week and we wouldn't have had this problem. Yeah. We wouldn't even have this conversation.
Well, you know it wasn't going to happen.
But right. She doing an original.
Someone's going to jump.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I said not to interrupt, but was anybody else was like, why is Charo here?
Oh, yeah. That was random.
It was so random. I was sitting there watching with Mark and I was like,
that's a person somebody should imitate on Snatch Game.
That was what I was thinking.
Charo. Was it Yara Sofia?
Or was it? Or
you didn't watch All Stars.
Wow, she tried it.
Did you watch?
I watched All Stars
because Yara Sofia did Charo on All Stars.
Yeah. Or was it America Ferrera?
Ugly Betty?
Ugly Betty.
I just made it up because she was
just picking random people now he's just picking random. I had a real reason for saying
now I'm being racist.
Yeah.
So before they went to the runway, they had their little Jay. You called it a mirror moment. I like that.
I like mirror moments. I'm trying to make that a thing
during their makeup.
That is a thing. Jay has made it a thing.
That and Fetch. Can we make Fetch a thing?
No. But
get out, Jay.
Your card has officially been revoked.
It's slang in London. All right.
I like their mirror moment.
Yeah.
Thorgy had her little moment.
Yeah.
I feel like Acid Betty got this moment as in the edit as a setup for her leaving. So yeah, she got that I don't fit in with the other queens of New York, which seemed kind of random to me because I mean, I don't know. It's like they seem to have this bond with all the New York queens, and then all of a sudden.
But Thorgy
has
did
already mentioned
that a lot of the New York girls didn't like Acid Betty. She had said that earlier. But did you feel bad for her?
Acid?
Yeah.
At what point? During the mirror
when she was talking about people not liking her.
I did.
But you talk about people the way that you do, and you wonder why they don't want to be in your shows?
Hey, well, you know.
Yeah, I kind of
I was just like, of course they don't want... I wouldn't want you in my show if that's how you acted.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad for her at all because it's like her attitude towards other people has been bad so far.
And trust me, because I've worked in shows... And
she mentioned that she doesn't like Snatch Game. I'm like, who doesn't like Snatch Game?
But if she was winning Snatch Game, she'd be like, Snatch Game's the best. So, but and you know, and I've done shows where, you know, I've had to book people and stuff like that, and you want to be around the queens that have a good energy, that you get along, you know what I mean? But and there's always that one that comes in, you're like, oh, she's
we've
in the show
already established that queens can be cunty.
But and that's fine, we are, and like I said, you know, Raven... She always used to come to because she would wear an ugly dress for birthdays. So she would always come to when I would be there. She's like, oh, Lorraine, I love when you're here. I have something to wear for birthdays. And she'll go there. So like that, but I get it, because we're friends, you know what I mean? Like, but like to talk about people the way that she does and the way she acts, I don't feel bad for you. I think
sometimes people like that, when there's a crowd or a group, or, you know, they want to stand out, and that's how they stand. Like Roxy.
But at Roxy, I think, was editing too, and I don't know how much. We have those Roxys, we have those Fifis where they're just
kind of nasty people just all around.
Right.
I don't think Acid Betty is natural. And Jay and I, we've been trying to.
Fifi was like, I don't know, because like we had Fifi as an interview over the phone in our studio, and she was lovely. So like, I don't want to say
because you had her as an interview, and you're blowing smoke up her butt. Of course, she's gonna be nice.
And I'm just saying.
For me, it was the reason why Acid Betty said that there was a problem is that because the other queens don't accept her because she's not dressing in traditional drag. I think that was the main point.
Yeah.
That I don't.
And so I think that she's, and I'm not, I am defending her, but I'm not defending her. But it's just like
everyone's afraid to defend her now.
She's building a wall.
I'm not.
You're building a wall because you're trying to protect yourself from these people who are constantly firing at you. So of course you're going to retaliate. And I think that just like her not being included maybe in like the mainstream drag was a little bit rough because we've seen her drag. If she came in that lagoon, I don't even know, her like scaly look last week, I told you I would have like died at a club. And as opposed to like, you know, I'm not going to compare her, but if somebody else came out in like a traditional, just like a wig and a jumpsuit, I'd be like, yeah, cool, they're jumping around lip syncing.
Yeah,
but Acid Betty comes up with a concept, and I think that's a little bit different for people to accept who or what she's doing, so maybe that's where that wall comes from.
Well, I don't know. Well, and that's another thing that, I mean, where are my New York people? Make a comment, because we don't live in New York. I wonder what, because there was a comment mentioned that there's a Brooklyn drag queen scene, and then there's a Manhattan.
Right.
So it sounds as though it's a little bit segregated.
Maybe, yeah.
So because in LA you just have LA, I think.
Well,
but LA's huenormous.
But there are different pockets.
Yeah.
There definitely. So I get what she's talking about with that, like, because that is. And when I lived in Ohio, all the drag was like downtown. That's where all the bars and stuff, the drag shows were. And then I started working in this club that was in an area called the Short North. And then we started doing shows there. So it became like there were the Short North girls, there were the downtown girls, and then there was another place on the other side of downtown where other people performed. So there were like three little pockets of queens.
So here's my question: were you guys doing the same type of drag?
We were better. Sorry. No. Well, it was different because the downtown girls had been doing it for a lot longer, so they were a little bit older than us. And then,
but was it different? Like drag, was it different concepts? Did you have a comedy queen?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
for sure. But then eventually they kind of started intermingling and stuff like that. And now that I don't even know if there's any clubs really in the downtown area now. It's pretty much in the Short North. But so I get that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to feel bad for you having seen the way that you've been acting. Again, I am going to correct myself, and I'll take a little bit back because I don't know how much of it is editing,
And because
I know that they can do that.
One of our commenters, going back to the mirror moments, I mean, if Acid Betty was really this awful, Thorgy and Bob would not even associate with her on the show.
I think so too.
True.
So Thorgy and her were having this conversation. So Acid Betty must not be that awful.
Or they're just nice, Thorgy and Bob.
Thorgy being
I
a
liked
conductor.
Naomi's story too.
Yeah. That was a cute story.
About her blended family and how her mom is super
8 brothers and 3 sisters.
And her parents were
huge. Cool.
Huge family.
cool, Naomi.
I had been kind of falling in love with Naomi over the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
She's from the Inland Empire.
Yes, girl.
And I'll say this: she's her, Naomi, and Chi-Chi. Actually, I didn't even remember Chi-Chi, her queen.
Meet the Queen.
Her Meet the Queen. When I saw her, I was like, did I watch hers? Maybe I missed one, but I did.
Probably did.
And Naomi's, when I watched hers, they were the only two that and obvious.
Derek Barrett, if you can't see that.
But I did. The good thing about watching Derek's Meet the Queen, though, was it reminded me that I needed to go buy more Sharpies. So I was out. I was out of Sharpies. But I did. I did see this for the little news and gossip.
Alexis, didn't you get Let It Go for us last year? Can we?
I did do that.
I think Steven used to do it.
Steve.
But she did. I will say this.
Let it go, Mark.
I'm going to give her a little plug. She did just get an exclusive agreement to be the spokesperson for Sharpie. So I just want to give her.
I'm gonna start bringing that back up again.
I want to give her a round of applause.
if I can bring it back. A
She will
bit.
be on all the new packaging.
See, and
So
the thing is,
kimono.
no, but the thing is, we'll get to that. But the more Mark rips on Derek, the more I want to defend her.
The more I want to drink.
That's what we're here to do.
Same here,
Let's
Jackie.
throw it at me.
This is vodka.
I have about 5 more Sharpie jokes that I'm waiting to use. So bring
Runway.
it.
Runway was
kimono.
Madonna. Yeah, it was.
Runway was
I don't
kimono
understand.
realness.
Brought to you by Kimono.
Yeah, I don't understand why so many of them thought about that.
Did you guys see what I did though? Because I had watched it first.
Uh-huh.
So when you guys were watching it, I actually scooted back because I wanted to see all of your reaction.
What was it like?
Because you guys were. When the third one came out, you all kind of went. And then the fourth one came out, and you all went, "What?"
I think I had my pen.
I dropped my pen too. I
couldn't wait. I was like, I can't wait to see their reaction. That's basically probably what I did.
I feel like they all went for the most, like, everybody was trying to not go for that, like, traditional Madonna from the 80s and 90s.
Here's my problem with this. There are so many Madonna looks over the. I mean, you have the '80s to pull from, like
What about
a version.
now Madonna, where you're like old and flappy?
I like this.
You should have done like in.
No, but like what I was saying is that there's so many iconic.
I'm listening.
Okay, so many iconic Madonna looks
Yes.
that how do
I'm doing Madonna right now.
How do four?
This is Madonna in 20 years.
How do 4 people end up with kimonos?
That was my question.
The only person that I expected to do that was Kim Chi. And maybe that's a little racist.
So racist.
So right.
Maybe that's a little racist.
This has gone. That we're spiraling. Okay.
Hold on. I wanted
Jay,
say
welcome to
something
the
real
train
quick.
wreck.
Jeez.
The train is off the rails.
I
No
agree.
need to.
I'm gonna go get my kimono and walk out.
I wish I would have known because then we could have all like been wearing kimonos.
The funny thing.
I have so many. I could have
I
brought
know.
you guys.
Like,
Funny thing is, for Halloween last year, I was gonna wear a kimono. So when I
You could be Madonna.
Okay, so how about this? Let's do a little comparison. Who had the best kimono?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Oh, okay.
I like Thorgy's kimono.
I thought-
Actually,
I agree.
I thought it was one of the better ones.
You're gonna kill me.
Oh my God! I'm gonna punch you.
Your tone seems very
Are
pointed.
you really gonna pick hers?
Because
this
it
better be
was
good.
different. Because it was different. It was different. When you looked at the image of Madonna in the kimono, it's a red kimono. I like that she picked white. I like that she did her black hair instead of her normal. Like she could have done.
You didn't bother you that she didn't have a wig line? Didn't bother you that she didn't have any contour? That she did her eyes with a Sharpie?
I love the Madonna faces
That she
on
couldn't
the
walk in her
arms of the
shoes?
kimonos.
They yell at Kim Chi when she can't walk. She couldn't walk. They don't say anything.
Kimchi had her geisha shuffles down.
And it was
She
actually
did.
good.
She nailed it.
It worked.
I like Thor. I'm with you. I like Thorgy's
I said
because.
that.
No, you said it too.
and I
though.
agreed. Yeah.
Oh, I said it first.
Because I liked that it was Madonna influenced.
Yes,
I didn't want to see Madonna's version. You know.
And watch that runway again, and Thorgy had like motions, and it was a cool catwalk.
Yeah.
Go.
No, go ahead.
Bring it down, Mark.
No,
Bring it down.
Simmer down.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but I love Robbie Turner's.
Oh my God.
That was my
yes.
Sorry, it was everything. I
It was
loved
everything.
that movie. I loved
It was
everything about it.
everything.
Now, thinking out of the box,
That was
everyone
clever.
thinking that nobody's gonna do a kimono. I would have never thought in a million years that somebody would have done a
Believe
League of
it.
It
Their
was
Own.
so good. And even though I just said, I just contradicted myself, even though she did exactly Madonna, because she copied the outfit.
Well-
but it was spot on. It wasn't
Right.
like
Spot
a joke.
on.
It was spot on.
Yeah.
Can I do her the whole time?
Oh my God! It was,
Judging?
and that was the
With the
best.
baseball.
She literally stood there with that in that pose with that ball.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
That was,
You go,
That was
girl.
my favorite. It was my favorite.
It was so good.
I like
You should have
Bob's.
thrown that at Derek.
You like two?
I like
Bob.
Bob's.
Bob's,
I agree.
You know
Only
what I
because-
liked about Bob's though? I'm sorry,
No,
but
no, no.
I liked that it was his best outfit yet. To me, it didn't. I want to get the iconic Madonna feel when I saw them. I didn't get that when I saw Bob, but I was like, Bob, it's your best outfit yet.
Right.
You
The
go,
padding
Bob.
was so good.
What I appreciate is that it was taken from 2013
Yeah,
GLAAD
GLAAD
Awards.
Awards, yeah.
No, I never seen
I
it.
didn't know what it was.
So when
until I saw that.
they flashed a picture of it,
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I like this.
Yeah. I will say this about Bob. I think you guys will agree with me. It's starting to bother me, the makeup.
In what way?
Or lack thereof.
Okay, so in Untucked, it does look I noticed
a little better.
Again, I know nothing about makeup, but I noticed that it looks a little rough.
Okay. Yeah,
there are some other queens with rough makeup, though.
Starting to bother me a little bit. Because last week I thought she did good. Last week I thought it looked good.
With the little paint
and the neon.
But even her makeup, like her eye makeup, just looked really done, really well done. I look at her and I still just see. What?
I said no Sharpie.
No Sharpie. Maybe she should borrow it. It's working for Derek.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, so we haven't talked about Acid Betty or Chi-Chi's yet. Acid Betty had the bird dress.
I liked it. I really liked it.
Love that.
You didn't like it?
No, I loved it. I thought it was my favorite.
Yeah.
It was out. Nobody.
Most creative.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Nobody would have thought of that.
No.
And that's Acid Betty. She always thinks outside of the box.
What did you think of her makeup?
Now, see, I was asking you about it because, again, I'm like, with Kenny, I don't know much about makeup, but
other than that foundation, girl.
I am like, no. Okay, so I don't know much about it, but I thought that her, she had I don't know, I thought it looked good. Yeah, it had like a highlight.
I didn't like it. Yeah.
I thought it wasn't bad, but it fit the look.
Look.
If she was just going for a Madonna, but see, she kind of did half and half.
Right.
Because she did very Madonna, like the whole look, but then did her face acid.
Well,
you know what I mean? Or
don't get me wrong. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but her makeup for Nancy Grace was awful.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
But that's what I was saying last week, is she's going to sit there and shake her finger at Trixie Mattel, who, by the way, whether you like that or not, that's amazing that she can do that with her makeup. Whether you like it or not, that is amazing makeup. And to shake your finger at her and then you come out with that kind of makeup,
As Jackie would say, no ma'am.
No ma'am.
That was a rant.
Sorry,
That
Mark,
had
one more
nothing to do
time.
with Derek.
I'm just going to drink my juice over here. Shelby.
Equal opportunity.
Go do Shelby.
Equal
Sip your
opportunity.
tea.
So,
who else?
The cone bra.
I love the cone bra because it's traditional Madonna.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
I'm with you, Jackie. I'm with you.
No,
Thank
it was
you.
too low for me. Like her chest was way up here, and the cones were way down here.
And the cones were very large.
Yeah.
I like that they were very
Did you?
large.
It's got to be. If they were small, you'd be like, she's small. I'm all about a big. You know what I mean? Like you got to have proportion
You're
too.
a drag queen.
And it was again Madonna influenced.
Yeah, but I thought it was too obvious. Like,
I liked it.
But nobody else did it.
I liked it.
Which clearly somebody else should have done it because
Was it influenced? Because I wrote down Night of 100 Madonnas. It's not like a literal.
I thought there was this. I forget what award show, but it might have been the VMAs where they actually had drag queens. Madonna was performing, or she came out on stage, but
Miley Cyrus.
10 drag queens came out dressed as a look from her career. So that's what I thought this was about. I didn't know it was like put your own like.
It's like you said though. There's so many looks that Madonna has done over the years, but
you can come out with 8 different looks.
Here's my thing: if you're gonna do Madonna, like do the look, you do what Robbie did. You know what I mean? Like it was.
But do you think that's safe? It's a safe bet.
No,
Okay.
I'm like, if you're going to do it, you have to do it spot on.
Right.
If you're going to do it with a Madonna influence, you do it like Thorgy did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But-
It's there, but it's still Thorgy.
Now here's my other question: do you think once those kimonos started coming out of like off the rack, someone should have been like,
yes,
I gotta back up?
That's what I was gonna say.
And same thing with the Whoopi thing. Like, if neither of them were doing it, why didn't one of them do it? The same thing. If everybody sees 4 kimonos coming out, when you kind of, I would be worried.
Yeah, because my thing is, clearly they all came out one after the other. I would be like, let me go change.
They even showed Kim mentioning that Thorgy had one.
Right.
They didn't show the other two, that they saw the other two that we saw on the runway. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, I feel like I would always have a plan B.
And to be
if
fair,
I'm packing for the show.
Naomi Smalls was not a kimono so much as a robe.
It was a nightgown.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they called her on that she's just
doing
wearing a bra and panties and a cloak.
Her body is sick, though.
It is. It's amazing.
If I had a skinny body like that, I'd wear nothing.
Now Kenny was shocked that Acid Betty went home, but when you saw that lip sync, Naomi worked the lip sync.
I don't doubt that. first of all, when they were called as the bottom two, I was like this. I was like, oh, I don't want either one of them to go home.
Me too.
Because I'm starting to. I've kind of been Team Acid Betty since I thought she was going to be the top.
Yeah, you had her
three.
in the top 3.
Me too.
And now I'm.
You did
screwed.
too?
Yeah, I had it as my top 3.
And then because Naomi Smalls has been growing on me the last couple of episodes, like I don't want either one of them to go home. And then even when Robbie was still staying, I think it was the 3 of them that were left. I was like, I can't choose out of these 3.
I said it's starting to be, for me, it's starting to be like season 2 was for me.
It is right.
I was like, but I don't want her to go either. But I don't want her to go either.
So when Ruth sent her home, I was shocked.
I did another, I'm going to lean back and see what happens.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked too. Because I was like you. I was like, Naomi's kind of killing it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to send her, they're not going to send Acid Betty home.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, they did. I mean, she probably will be the one that gets brought back, is my guess.
No, they've already brought somebody back.
But, that's true. Okay. Touche.
She'll be back for All Stars.
Down.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I wasn't happy to. I didn't want either of them to go, but Acid was kind of the one I was rooting for.
I just think she brings so much more to the table as far as drag. Her runways have been not spot on, but they've been very interesting to watch.
I
will say, and I'll go back and I'll buy flip flop again. Naisha Lopez. Her last drag, I was surprised. I was shocked that she went home.
Well, she shouldn't have been in the bottom.
It's debatable.
Who should have been?
I'm just going to leave that open.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a clip of you with all your rants and just tag them all together and play them in all your...
That'll probably take an hour.
In all your glory. Okay, so that was it. I mean, I didn't want Acid Betty to go home.
She had a really awkward mirror kiss at the end.
I was like, oh.
Did it move on her? She's like, oh.
I think she kissed, and I think then she was
rotated her face.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
I was laughing.
I was going to ask you, do you still talk to Cam?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, have you talked to him about this season?
No, not
yet?
this season. Yeah.
I'm just curious to know who, because he was all Pearl last season. I was like, ugh. So I'm just curious who he likes this season. Probably
Cameron,
Derek.
if you're watching, make your comment. He usually makes comments though.
Yeah, he does.
So Cameron Morrison, make your comment.
Cameron,
a lot of the people in the chat roll are saying that the producers, even some of them, wanted to change their kimonos, and the producers told them not to.
Oh,
to
good
keep
to know.
that kind of drama.
I was gonna say that too. As I wonder if they were told just to everybody do it.
See, now I don't think that's fair. Because
No, it's not.
we've talked about Dick in the Soup many times, and that's just not fair.
It's not fair.
Because I think Tracy last season she was going to do Anne Frank for her which I watched it.
No, ma'am.
Is it online?
But it was. I think they pulled it. But that shit was hilarious. Because I watched it, I was like, ooh, but this is kind of funny. It was one of those things, and I think that, and there was this theory that they pulled her off and then brought her back after. So
I think they're super setting up Bob versus Thorgy as our final 2 because they keep going into a who's doing it better.
Yeah.
Between the
which
2.
are both in my top 2.
I know,
my top 3.
and honestly,
and kimchi.
if I could do it all over again, I might change my order. But I like 3 different queens than I did at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
But I'm gonna hold strong. I still like who I chose.
I'm not allowed to flip flop anymore, so I've reached my quota for the season. So do we have any? Yeah, I know, right? Do we have any shout outs? I know you guys wanted to do.
I do.
Shout outs.
Mark is doing suggested we do a fan of the week.
Yeah.
And so I picked somebody who made some thoughtful comments and who we haven't shouted out before. There are a lot of people like Bryce, like Lip Masturbator, that comment all the time, and we shout them out all the time. So this is the fan of the week is Ricardo R.
Yay, Ricardo R.
Who I've not shouted out before. So you're the fan of the week. And then thank you to our iTunes reviewers. We have Yolale. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Just roll with it.
And then Logi56.
Cool.
Thank you for commenting.
Jay, what you got over there?
Yeah, so I was very busy this week watching some old alums from Drag Race. I went and saw...
And I was too old to meet you.
I sent out an email, but everybody was a little busy, so I went solo.
Let's get this right. Jay sent an email like bedtime.
Yeah!
He's going downtown to...
I was putting on the mascara.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I had already put on my pajamas. I was already tucked in.
I think I was the same way. I think I was like just getting in bed, and I was like, oh, I should check my emails.
Yeah.
And I was like, Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
It was
really
very. It
comfortable
was
now.
awfully sweet of you.
It was late. So I went down to Red Line in downtown here, which is a very nice club. Every Wednesday they have drag night, and
Wednesday?
this time Wednesday nights.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm
Pandora.
off this Wednesday. Are you going again?
I could.
Maybe we should
Wait.
go.
Yes, maybe.
Oh yeah, you two can go. You want to invite us?
Well,
Yeah,
you didn't even
No, I
give
don't
me
wanna
time
go.
to rotate my chair.
We don't want to go now.
Kenny, Jackie, I'll take you guys out.
Thank you.
Wednesday
Thank
night.
We'll go see Derek
So
Barry's
you
show.
guys
We're going to
she's
Vegas.
there. We need to see if she's there.
No,
I'm not going.
so it's normally Pandora Box's show that she hosts, but it was Manila Luzon who killed it and looked amazing, and Jessica Wilde performed, who was your prediction last week. Selena, she did old school Selena, and it was the jumpsuit, everything. I'll post pictures actually on my Twitter now that she did.
Yeah,
I took
perfect.
pictures, and then I saw Ginger Minge at Precinct on Friday.
God, you're a
And
busy man, Jay.
I was dedicated. I wanted to see them all, and she did a big medley and did spoken word lip sync, which I'm always amazed by.
tough.
It looks great, and
It's
her everything about her was great. I met a guy named Garther who watches, so thank you, Garth. And then I have kind of a showmance going on with our Drag Race recap. They're on Twitter. They're watching us. They enjoy our show, and I am listening to them too. They're really funny, and I just look forward to hearing them talk about the show as well.
Oh, who is this?
It's Drag Race recap. They're on Twitter, but they're on iTunes. Listen
saw
to them.
something, yeah.
They do.
okay.
They have a shade button, which whenever one of them says something, it plays out like on this show,
I love it.
and they do Michelle Visage's
Well,
laugh.
see, we could have anything like that with this one over here.
Yeah,
No one would hear us.
it would just be shade button all the time.
Yeah, I had to stop using
not
the
true.
Thank you.
Derek
Hand
button
on the
because all
shade
the fans
button.
were like, too much, too much, it's too much.
I'm the nicest one.
You
here.
You're
are.
very nice.
You are
Not to
very
Derek.
No, Mark is a sweetheart. We
Mark
all,
is sweet to us.
I would say I like this panel because we all get along. We genuinely
Yeah.
like each
Yes.
other, but we can agree to disagree.
That's true.
Yes.
I don't agree with that at all.
You get out of here.
Let me get my kimono. Okay, I'm joking. I love it.
Mark, any shout outs?
I do. I have a shout out, and then I'll do my quote of the week. My
Okay.
shout out is going to be, which I told you guys a little bit about earlier. I was leaving my other show on yesterday, and I was going to put my coffee mug in there, and a girl came up to me here in the kitchen and grabbed my arm. And she's like, I just want you to know, I really love how much you hate Derek Barry. And I lost it. I was like, oh my God, that's fabulous. You just made my day.
Yeah.
So I didn't even ask her name. I don't even know why she was here because then we just started talking about
It's
Drag
all
Race and
about
everything.
you, Mark. It's all
And,
about
it happens sometimes. So a shout out to her.
Yeah.
You
I'm
nameless
guessing
woman.
that I will see her again since she was here. And you have to buzz to get in. So
I honestly believe they'll let anybody in. No, I'm just kidding.
Mark, get out.
I will just say that if I push the button and they let me in, anybody can get it. And then my quote of the week this week is going to go to Gigi Hadid when she said, I didn't know leg pads were a thing.
When did she say that? I don't remember
She
that.
said it when they were
runway
after the
was
girls left
Yeah.
and they were critiquing and they were
Yeah.
talking
I didn't
about
know that was a
padding.
thing
And she's
either.
like, I didn't know pads were
Well,
a thing.
when you
I
were
literally
explaining it
laughed
to Jay and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I was surprised.
I always tell people that. I'm like, if you saw the process, like getting, like, like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but you don't see the steps that go into all
Yeah.
of that.
The
And you see it
cutting,
sometimes.
yeah.
If you watch, they, for some reason, I don't know why, they always showed Latrice putting her pads on and stuff. So you can see sometimes that
Yeah.
they're stuffing the pads in
Which
the
Cam used to say she was using couch cushions.
Yes, which you do. They are pretty much couch
Real quick,
cushions.
RuPaul's dress.
Loved it.
I liked it.
Loved
I
it.
think-
Loved
I
the
think
wig. Loved the dress.
I don't think
Loved
it-
Michelle's face.
I thought it was safe.
I thought it was safe too. I love the silhouette. She had a great
That.
silhouette.
And you know what I think about safe.
Oh God. So we're gonna do real quick our predictions for All Stars.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just
I
gonna
gotta
say
know.
we're just gonna pick.
The prediction.
We're gonna pick from season 1 to season 8.
Right.
Okay.
And I made a mistake of picking Yaz Sophia. They can't have already been on All Stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
you need to pick two then.
No, I picked Angina.
replaced-
I got Angina and Shanji. I know you have
Ivy Winters and Darian Lake so far.
Ginger Minge
And Jessica Wilde.
and you have Adore
Katya.
and
And
Katya.
Katya.
So, and we can overlap. So,
Cool.
if
Oh, okay.
somebody's already
I was
picked.
trying not to, but there are some that I've
I
heard.
think we could not overlap. I think we'll be
Okay.
fine.
So I have my pick. So go.
I have mine too.
Mine is milk.
Mark, you clipped. Relax.
Now I gotta go last.
Well, I have.
I'll pick another one.
She's not gonna get her way this time.
Morgan.
I'll pick another.
Morgan McMichael is okay.
Morgan, McMichaels. Okay.
I put, believe it or not, I put Delta Work on my list.
Oh, Delta. I love
yeah.
Delta.
So that'll be my third pick.
I'll tell you a quick little Delta story. She was in a show that I was actually hosting, and I literally kept finding myself staring at her because she was so beautiful. Like, just watching her do her makeup and, like, just sitting there, and I was just like, Delta, am I creeping you out? Because I'm just, like, staring at you. Yeah. She was so beautiful. Yeah. So beautiful.
Next time you see Derek Barry, you should do the same thing.
That's not gonna happen. All right, now I gotta find somebody.
Hurry up, pick one. It's not that hard.
No, it is.
That's who. Well, never mind.
I have my.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll pick Detox.
Well, no, I can't next week. But
that would have been my next week.
Yeah, that was my next week.
Doesn't matter. That's the end of our show. Where can we find you?
Did you pick yours?
Yes. Who did I say? Delta Work. That's what I said.
That's who you said.
@don't_be_jealous on Instagram and still_jealous on Twitter. I'll post those drag queen pictures.
Yeah.
Marky.
On Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNELOVE, and on Facebook. Actually, I'm on Facebook as Lorraine Love. You can do Facebook.com/I Love Lorraine Love, and you can find my Lorraine Love page.
Sweet.
I'm 123 Jackie B. I'm 123 Jackie B on Twitter, on Instagram, and my website is 123jackieb.com.
Cool. And I'm Kenny C. Harrison on Twitter, and I'm going to plug my new AfterBuzz show, The Good Wife.
Plug it.
It's an old show. It's The Good Wife. I'm covering the last 4 episodes.
Oh, cool.
It's wrapping up, so watch, please.
Yay.
It's fun. So, Good Wife.
When are you doing it? When is it?
Sundays at 8 o'clock.
Oh, I'll be gone.
Okay, so
it is cold outside, so let's go get our kimonos on.
Yeah, but I'll be gone.
We should all wear kimonos next week. That would be funny.
I'll bring them in.
Thank you for... Oh, Alexis, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Extra large for
Where
me.
can we find you?
Oh, you can find me all over social media as ATours890, where all Alexis Torreses are sold.
Awesome.
And you can also find my vlog. It's called Hump Day Lunch Hour. I talk about stuff on Wednesdays on my lunch hour.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for joining us. Make your comments, tweet us, find us on YouTube, find us on iTunes, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.